Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Once again, a very warm and a hearty welcome to every dear, my dear mascots to this BIOPOINT JWALA batch for NEET 2023 Animal Kingdom lecture number 1. Can you all hear me properly? BIOPOINT JWALA batch. Yes. It's perfectly clear, I hope. Is it clear, everybody? Yes, there was a small technical glitch. That's why we made nearly 5 minutes late, right? Please tell me or please let me know on the chat box whether you all can hear me properly or not. Yes, thank you so much, Binaya, Nisha, Srividya, everybody. Yes, so let's get started with this brand new chapter, Animal Kingdom, and lecture number 1. Okay, so this today's class, that is the basis of classification, is gonna be the basic idea on this entire chapter. So if this lecture is clear for everybody, the whole chapter would remain like a simple chapter for each one of you. Yesterday itself, I have shared a PDF in the group. I don't know how many of you have read and gone through that PDF. Tell me frankly on the chat box, have you all read the part Animal Kingdom at least? Have you gone through that at least? Please let me know on the chat box. Yes? Have you all gone through that at least? Yes. So this chapter is going to be completely, very perfectly easy for each one of you. So let's get going. This is our amazing Telegram group, t.me/neet_biopoint, where daily session updates, regular polls and quizzes, everything takes place. Those who are watching the session right now, don't forget to hit the like button, to share it with your friends, and subscribe the amazing platform for more lectures. So let's get going with this chapter. One of the very, very important chapter, very important chapter in which you can expect nearly 4 questions for NEET exam. The last chapter, Living World, 1 question for NEET exam. Animal Kingdom, 4 questions from a single chapter. That is 16 marks alone from the simple but a complex chapter. Yes, I am not receiving any comments on the chat box. Yes, please be active. Yes, guys, please be active and try to respond on the chat box. Are you all here? Can we start with this chapter? Give me hearts on the screen, everyone. Come on. Oh, nobody is there. Yes, thank you, Srividya, everybody. Yes, so this is a very important and a very simple point that everybody know. Animals are multicellular. Animals are multicellular heterotrophic organism without cell wall and chlorophyll. Is it everybody? Is it clear, Kratika? Binay, is it clear? So we know that animals are multicellular, right? Animals are multicellular because more than one cell is present. They are heterotrophic. You have studied in your 10th standard. They do not have the capability to produce their own food. They do not have cell wall. They do not have cell wall and chlorophyll. That is why they are heterotrophic organism. Am I right? Give me hearts on the screen if this slide is clear for everybody. If this slide is clear, give me hearts on the screen. Come on. Yes, perfectly all right. Yes, we have 11 major phyla or Kingdom Animalia. So in this chapter, we are discussing about the animal kingdom. There are mainly 5. Yes, Abhijit. There are mainly 5 kingdoms, right? Guys, I think you have studied this in your 9th standard. There are 5 kingdoms. Tell me on the chat box one by one. Tell me on the chat box one by one. Kingdom Animalia, Kingdom Plante. What are the other kingdoms that you have studied? Come on. You studied this in your 9th standard. Yes, very good, very good. Good, guys. Kingdom Monera, Kingdom Protista, Kingdom Plantae, Kingdom Fungi, and Kingdom Animalia. You have a clear idea about what is species, what is kingdom, what is genus, and all those things. You will study about Monera, Protista, and fungi in the chapter number 2, biological classification, Kingdom Plantae in chapter number 3, plant kingdom, and here we are going to study about 5 kingdoms. That is the last kingdom of 5 kingdom classification, that is the Kingdom Animalia. Okay, Kingdom Animalia consists of 11 major phyla. Guys, comment me on the chat box, what is the other term for phyla in case of plants? Here you will study phyla. What is the other term for phyla in terms of plants? Yes, those who have read NCERT and have studied perfectly, chapter number 1 would tell me the answer right now. What is the other term which is used for phyla in case of plants? Yes, I'll give you just 10 seconds to answer. Very good, Nisha. It is division. Okay, guys, those who haven't watched the lectures of Living World, please do watch. We have completed the NCERT marking along with 3 lectures of that chapter. Okay, very simple chapter. So, in this chapter, we have to study about 11 major phyla. Okay, so the first phyla is Porifera, second, Cnidaria, third is Ctenophora. This is a brand new name that you are coming across. Okay, there is no much discovery on Ctenophora, but a few points would be discussed by us in this chapter. Okay, so Ctenophora is a brand new chapter. Except Ctenophora, please check it out and tell me, is there any other names which are new to you? Yes, Ctenophora and Hemichordata are new. Rest of everything, I think you have a simple idea or a basic idea about your 9th standard syllabus, right? Platyhelminthes or flatworm, ash helminthes, roundworm, annelida, arthropoda, mollusca, echinodermata, and chordata. In this chordata, you would be studying about class Pisces, reptilia, animalia, aves, and mammalia. Is it clear? If these, except number 3 and number 10, all the other phylum name, is it clear for everybody? Give me thumbs up on the chat box. Give me thumbs up on the chat box if except number 3 and number 10, every other topics are, or every other name is clear for you. Every other name is clear for you. Give me thumbs up on the chat box. Only one. What about the others? If you have any confusion, just open up and ask me. Yes. This is a simple topic. Okay, this name have to be by hearted in this order itself. So Porifera, Cnidaria, Ctenophora. This is Ctenophora. Platyhelminthes, ash helminthes, annelida, arthropoda, mollusca, echinodermata, hemichordata, and chordata. Guys, if you maintain this particular strength like 5, 6, 7 or 8 students per class, from next class onwards, we would try to add a Menti quiz at last. Okay, we would try to add a Menti quiz at last. Ash helminthes may be a new name, but you have studied it in the form of roundworms. Okay, roundworms. Is it clear, Binaya? It is roundworms. So, in this slide or in this chapter or in today's class, we are going to study the basis of classification. So, there are 11 different phylum which we have to study in this chapter. So, based upon the 7 different phylum, right now we are going to classify them. So in today's class or in today's video, we are going to discuss what are those 7 different characters which are used to classify the organism into 11 different phyla. Can we start? Can we start? What we told till now is just an introduction. From this onwards, NEET preparation, board exam questions, everything starts. Can we start? Can we start? Yes. So, guys, the first term is based on 6 major categories. We are classifying the animals into 11 major phyla. First one is the level of organization. First one is the level of organization. So as per the level of organization is concerned, we would be dividing the animals into four major groups. We would be dividing the animals into four major groups, that is animals having a cellular structure, animals having a tissue structure, animals having an organ level of organization, and last one is organ system level of organization. Yes, Ranjit. Okay, so based upon these characters is what we are going to study first. Then you have body symmetry, how their body can be classified. Then germinal or embryonic layers. Next, fourth one is coelom. Okay, this is pronunciation as coelom, body cavity. Fifth one, metamerism, segmentation. Last one is notochord. Okay, so we would be discussing each one in detail. I know that everybody have doubt in all these terms, so let's discuss each term in detail. Okay, have full josh in the class. Listen very carefully. First one, level of organization. Okay, level of organization. Based on the organization of the cells, based upon the organization of cells, animals are grouped into four different levels. Okay, guys, we are discussing about the level of organization. First, basics of classification. That is, based on the organization of the cell, animals are grouped into four different categories. Cellular level of organization, their body is made up of cells. Tissue level of organization, those animals whose body consists of tissues or a group of cells. A group of animals that have organ level of organization, and last one is organ system level of organization. So what are the four things? Cellular level of organization, tissue level of organization, organ level of organization, and last one is organ system level of organization. Is it clear? Can we study the examples of each of this organization levels? Can we study the examples? Yes. So let's study the examples. I hope you have remembered the terms or the 11 major phylums. Yes, what are they? Porifera, Coelenterata, Ctenophora, Platyhelminthes, Ashhelminthes, Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca, Echinodermata, Hemichordata, and Chordata. So let's study the examples. Guys, cellular level of organization. A group of cells combine together to form tissue. A group of tissues together forms an organ, and a group of organ forms an organ system. So you can consider this as a form of an evolution. Okay, you can consider this as a form of evolution. In cellular level of organization, cells are present. Their body is, yes, okay, Ashu. The cells are present inside their body. They do not have any organs for performing any function. They do not have any other tissues or something. Their body consists of only cells. Each cell performs different functions. So, the example for cellular level of organization is the first phylum that we are studying, that is the phylum Porifera. Guys, you have to study it in an evolution manner. Okay, first is Porifera, the next level of organization for the next higher phyla. Okay, so a group of cells together forms a tissue level of organization, and the tissue level of organization is shown by Ctenophora and Coelenterata, which is the second and the third phylum which we have discussed in the beginning. Is it everybody? Is it clear? Guys, you can take down the lecture notes. Okay, you can take down the short notes, you can take down the lecture notes, you can write by the side of your NCRT, or you can mark it in the NCRT, or you can write it in a piece of book or a paper or whatever. Okay, sorry. Yes. Okay, I'll provide the PDF of the session. Okay, if you have any confusions, you can ask me. A group of tissue together forms the organ level of organization. So tissues are arranged into organs. For example, the higher animals, that is from Platyhelminthes to chordates. From Platyhelminthes, all other higher phylum contains organs, is it? Platyhelminthes example is the flatworm, planaria, flatworm, etc. Okay, planaria, flatworm, etc. They have specialized organs in their body. In human beings also, human beings coming under the phylum Chordata. So in human beings also we can find organs, right? So from Platyhelminthes to all other higher phylum, you can find organ level of organization, and organ system level of organization is found in higher animals such as digestive system, respiratory system, excretory system. All those systems are present in higher phyla. Is it clear for everybody? Is it clear? Give me yellow hearts on the screen. Come on. Give me yellow hearts on the screen, everybody, if it's clear and perfect about the first basic of classification, that is the level of organization. You have to study what are the 4 levels of organization and what are their examples also. Okay, that is a previous year question. Okay, that can be asked as a question for your exam. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Jisha. That is Binaya, IO, Ashu, Abhijit. Where is Kratika, Shrevidya, Sheikh, Rajneet, Nisha? Where are you guys? Are you not here? Yes, I hope it's clear. If you have any doubt, you can tell me. Next, along with it, we have to study about the system. Okay, so organ systems in animals can show complexities. For example, the digestive system. What is the function of digestive system? That helps in the digestion and absorption of the food. Am I right? Yes. So digestive system is of 2 types. That is, the first type is the incomplete digestive system. Okay, in case of hydra and all, they take food through one opening and they would eject or eliminate the waste materials also through one single opening. Okay, this is hydra. This is in hydra. They would ingest their food, that is, they would begin or eat their food through the small opening. The small opening, they would eat their food. Okay, they'll take in the food through the small opening, and at the same time they'll give out the waste materials at last through the same opening itself. So they have a single opening. Okay, in case of planaria also, that is Platyhelminthes, this is a planaria. Okay, you can see the diagram on the screen. I have included maximum diagrams to make it clear. So this is planaria, guys. This is the mouth. This mouth itself acts as the anus. Okay, the mouth and anus are the same. So incomplete digestive system means they have only a single opening that act as both the mouth and the anus. For example, Cnidaria and Platyhelminthes. Platyhelminthes is actually flatworms. Is it clear? Have you understood what do you mean by incomplete digestive system and complete digestive system? Complete digestive system means they have 2 openings, that is a separate mouth and an anus. In case of human beings and all, you have mouth as well as anus as 2 different openings. It's not the same, right? Yes. So, like the same way, circulatory system is also of 2 types: open circulatory system and closed circulatory system. Guys, tell me a guess whether in case of human beings it is open circulatory system or closed circulatory system. I'll give you 10 seconds to answer this question. Very simple, with your logic you can answer. In case of, just give me a wild guess. In case of human beings, whether you would see open circulatory system or closed circulatory system. In case of human beings, you would see what? Closed circulatory system. Why is closed circulatory system? Because in case of human beings, you have definite blood vessels such as artery is there, veins is there, capillary is there to carry the blood. Right? Closed. Absolutely, it is closed. You have 3 different kinds of blood vessels, right? Artery, veins, and capillary. Whereas in open, there is no specific blood vessels. There are no blood vessels. The blood from the heart would be directly pumped into the body parts. All the body organs would be bathed in blood. Okay. Just like if you're taking a bottle full of blood and you're immersing a particular stone. This is blood. Okay, this is blood. This is the condition of open circulatory system. The organ, the body organs are bathed in blood or they are bathed in blood. Okay, whole body organs are bathed in blood in case of open circulatory system. Is okay. Let's move on to the second criteria, that is the body symmetry. Do you know what is symmetry? Symmetry. Do you know what is symmetry? It is the arrangement of similar body parts on two sides of the main axis of the body. Guys, just imagine if you are standing straight and you are cut, okay, you are cut vertically into two different halves. Your right and your left side remains the same. Am I right? Am I right? This is a human being, and if you are cutting this particular human being through the middle, the right half as well as the left half would remain the same. Right? So that is said to be what? Symmetrical. Okay? Such organisms in which you can clearly divide them. Okay? You can clearly divide them into two halves or more than two halves is known as symmetrical. In this also you can, this diagram also you can divide it into two different halves. It can be, it should be equal. Okay? Is it clear? So this beetle, it can be also divided into two different halves, but they are similar. So animals based on the symmetry are of two different types, that is asymmetrical and symmetrical. Asymmetrical means asymmetry. Asymmetry. If the term A comes in between any term, you will call them as the cannot. You cannot be divided into two similar parts, or opposite meaning you can take over there. Asymmetrical, there is no symmetry. For example, in case of poriferans, in case of snails and all, you cannot divide the body of that organism into two different organisms. Asymmetrical means, suppose you are taking a shapeless piece of paper. This is shapeless, right? I have got an organism like this. Just imagine I'm taking and I'm dividing this into two equal halves. Is this half and this half remaining the same? Tell me, Sonia, just tell me, is this remaining the same or both these parts are different? Tell me whether the right and left halves are the similar or they are different. Are they similar or different? They are different, right? They are different. So such kinds of organism in which you cannot divide them into two equal halves is known as what? Asymmetric organism. For example, in poriferans and snails. Guys, just look at this example. It may be very, very clear. Look, in this diagram, if you are dividing that particular organism into two different things, you cannot get two equal halves, right? You cannot get two equal halves. Exactly like that. This is an example for a sponge. Sponges comes under the phylum Porifera, right? So poriferans does not show what? Symmetry. They are asymmetrical organism. Look, this division cannot be two equal one. So that is the difference between symmetrical and asymmetric organism. Symmetrical organisms can be again divided into two equal halves. Okay, symmetric organisms can be divided into two equal halves, not two equal halves, two different types. Okay, symmetrical organism can be divided into two different types. First one, radial symmetry. Second one, bilateral symmetry. Okay, first one is radial symmetry, second one is bilateral symmetry. What do you mean by radial symmetry? Radial symmetry means the body can be divided into two equal halves by any vertical plane along the central axis. Oral aboral axis of the body. That means oral aboral axis of the body means they can be cut into two equal halves. Where whatever direction you cut the organism, they would be receiving two different halves. Just imagine, I would be explaining you with this mathematical diagram. Just imagine a circle. Okay, just imagine a circle. If I am cutting this circle into two equal halves through this plane, have I obtained two equal halves? have I obtained two equal halves, or I am receiving two different halves? Yes, I receive two equal halves, right? If I'm dividing the body of this organism in this way also, I am getting what? Just forget about the first line that we drew. Okay, in this way also we are getting two similar halves. Just imagine in another direction, if I'm going to cut that in this direction. Okay, sorry, my line has just been different. If you cut them, then also you will have what? It's not four half, Abhijit. I have just removed one line. Okay, in this way also these two halves are similar, right? So if your radial symmetry means through any axis, if you cut, you would have two different equal halves. Okay, you will get two different equal halves in case of radial symmetry. Okay, in case of bilateral symmetry, okay, just imagine I'm drawing a schematic diagram for a human being. Okay, this is a human being, and in case of human being, if you are going to cut this human being into two equal halves, then you will get one half like this. Another half would be the exact copy of that, right? That is why they are called symmetric. You cannot divide this particular diagram in this way. If you divide the diagram, it would be in an asymmetrical way. Am I right? You can only divide the organism this plane. Only in one plane you can divide in case of bilateral symmetry. But in case of radial symmetry, you can divide them through any plane. Okay. So, radial symmetry example is some poriferans, cnidarians, ctenophores, adult echinoderms. Previous year NEET MCQ. Adult echinoderms show what symmetry? They show radial symmetry. Whereas echinoderms in their larval stage and all, they show bilateral symmetry. Okay, larval stage of echinoderms, they will show bilateral symmetry. Guys, is this symmetry clear for everybody? Do I need to explain it once again? Do I need to explain it once again, or it's clear? Radial symmetry and bilateral symmetry means body can be divided into right and left halves in only one plane. In only one plane, example from platyhelminthes still chordates except adult echinoderms. Guys, tell me frankly, is it clear or should I need to explain it once again? Study this example means we have to by heart it. That's the only way. By heart is the only way by which we can make use of it. Or else you can just make like asymmetrical organism, after that radial symmetry, bilateral symmetry. I would give you just a small trick. I don't know how much does it work in your case to study the examples. Okay, right now I would be explaining you with the help of symmetry. Okay, symmetry. First one that we have studied is the asymmetric. Second one we have studied is the radial symmetry. Third one is the bilateral symmetry. You have to remember, that's why I told you have to remember the phylum in its order that we have studied. Asymmetric means they are less evolved organism, right? They are the top organism or the first organism that we are studying. And what is the first phylum we have studied? Poriferan. So asymmetrical organisms are seen in Porifera. Then after Porifera, advanced features, radial symmetry, they are seen in Coelenterata. Then after that phylum, Ctenophora, and the only exception that you have to study is the adult echinoderms. Adult echinoderms. And bilateral means more advanced features. So from phylum Platyhelminthes till the largest higher animals, you will find what? Bilateral symmetry. In this way, you can classify and study everything. Okay, is it clear? Once again, I'll tell you, radial symmetry means they can be divided into any halves through any plane. Bilateral means they can be divided into two equal halves through only one plane. Okay. This is a diagram which is given in NCERT. So please refer this. They can ask you what does this symmetry refers to. So this is an example for a radial symmetry. This is an example for a bilateral symmetry. You cannot divide these organisms like this. You cannot divide this organism like this. You won't get two equal halves. Okay. So bilateral symmetry means we can divide the organism only in a single direction. Okay. So guys, please take down these terms in your NCERT. This is not there in your NCERT. This is not related with this chapter, but even though we have to study this because you will come across these terms so many times these 2 years, 11th and 12th. So at that time, you should not be confused. Okay. Guys, what is meant by dorsal side of the body? Dorsal side of the body means the upper part of the body. Your chest and all comes under the dorsal side of the body. What is ventral side of the body? It is the lower or the back side of your body. It is the ventral. Okay. One second. I'm receiving a call. 1 second. Yes. Yes. Guys, there was a small mistake in which I told you. Okay, dorsal side. Just imagine that you are lying with your head touched towards the floor and or your face facing towards the floor and your body upwards. Dorsal side means that upper part of the body or your back side. Okay, your backbone, your vertebral column and everything comes under the dorsal side. And ventral side means your ventral, chest and all is ventrally. I think last time I told ventral, dorsally is the chest, right? It's ventral. Okay, ventral means the chest, sternum, everything comes in the ventral portion of our body. Left and right side are called the lateral side. Anterior portion can be called as the term cephalic. We'll come across this term in this chapter. Okay, cephalic means anterior portion. Anterior portion you will call them as cephalic. Posterior portion you will call them as the anal or tail side. Guys, is this slide clear? Is there any confusion? Should I need to repeat any terms once again? Is it clear with dorsal, ventral, lateral, cephalic, anal? Yes? Hit the chat box with hearts, everybody, come on. Come on, everybody, hit the chat box with the hearts. If it's clear. No response. What about the others? No response. What happened? Yes. Cephalic means anterior portion. If you, instead of telling like the head is located in, my head is located in the anterior portion of my body, biologists would use the term, your head is located on the cephalic part of your body. That side, you should not stand in like wonderstruck. You should not be in a wonderstruck moment. Cephalic means what? Anterior portion. Yes, Nisha, I would tell you once again. The first term is the dorsal. What do you mean by dorsal? The upper side of the body. In this, you have to imagine you are lying down. Okay, you are lying down with your face towards the floor. Your face is pointing towards the floor. Just like this. Okay. So ventral side means the lower side of the body. Ventral means the lower side of the body. Dorsal means the upper side of the body. Okay. So dorsal side, upper side of the body. Ventral means lower side of the body. Your backbone is located in where? Your backbone is located on the dorsal side, right? Your backbone is located on the dorsal side. Your backbone is located at your backside, right? You can just remember it by dorsal mean backside of your body. Ventral means front portion of your body. Just imagine it like this, or just by heart it like this. Back side means dorsal, front side means ventral. Is it clear? Can we move on to the third basics of classification, that is the germinal layers. From this onwards, you will find a bit difficult in understanding. Listen very carefully. Okay? Can we move? Nisha, is it clear? Yes. So, germinal layers. There are layers of embryo from which all the body organs are formed. So, there are different layers. You will study about these different layers in your class 12 human reproduction chapter. What are the different layers of embryo? Here you have to study embryos are formed from different body layers based upon the number of germ layers, based upon the number of layers present inside the body of animals. They can be divided into diploblastic animals and triploblastic animals. Diploblastic animals and triploblastic. Guys, tell me, in diploblastic animal, how many layers will be present, and in triploblastic animal, how many layers will be present? By the term you tell me. Diploblastic, how many layers? Diploblastic, how many layers would be present? Diploblastic, how many layers would be present? Yes, it's two. Diplo, di means di, bi, everything means two, right? So diploblastic consists of two germinal layers. Triploblastic, tri means three. Triploblastic, three layers. Am I right? So diploblastic means two layers. Triploblastic means three different layers. Right? I would tell you what are the three different layers which you have to. What are the three different layers that has to be mentioned? Yes, very good, guys. Three layers is the outer ectoderm. Okay, guys, ectoderm. Middle one is the mesoderm. And the inner portion is the endoderm. Okay, ectoderm, mesoderm, and endoderm. Okay, ectoderm is the outermost layer. Endoderm is the innermost layer, and mesoderm is the middle layer of the germ layer or the embryonal layer. You can call them as germ layers. Germ layers means the layer from which an embryo is completely formed. So that is why you can call them as the embryonal layers also. Embryonal layers. Yes. In case of diploblastic organism, only ectoderm and endoderms are formed. Okay, this is a form of an evolution. Okay, ectoderm and endoderm are only formed in case of diploblastic. In case of triploblastic organism, ectoderm is present, mesoderm is present in the middle, and endoderm is present. Is it clear? Is it clear? In terms of diploblastic, ectoderm and endoderm, and in between them you would have a fluid filled space or not a well developed thing. That is why you'll call them as mesoglia. A third embryonic layer initiating its formation, that is the known as to be what? Mesoglia. So let's discuss in detail. Okay. Yes, guys, look at this diagram. Outermost layer is the ectoderm. Innermost layer is the endoderm. Look, outermost layer is the ectoderm. Innermost layer is the endoderm. And in middle, in this diagram, you can see cells or a third layer. So this is mesoderm. So this is the diagram. The B part is an example for triploblastic organism. Here, instead of mesoderm, you would find scattered fluid, that is mesoglia, which is seen in diploblastic organism. So let's understand what are the differences, or what are the main differences between a diploblastic and a triploblastic organism. Diploblastic organism means two germ layers are present, and you have to be very clear. outer ectoderm is present and inner endoderm is present. In between these layers, an undifferentiated jelly-like layer called mesoglia is present. Diploblastic means Cnidaria and Ctenophora are examples of diploblastic organism. You cannot, there is no germinal layers in Porifera, so you cannot consider Porifera under any germ layer classification. Okay, that is why the example for diploblastic organism is Cnidaria and Ctenophora, or Coelenterata and Ctenophora. Yes, is it clear for everybody? Look guys, this is the diagram in NCRT. Okay, this is a diagram given in NCRT. Those who have your NCRT in your hand can underline. The inner one is the entoderm. Guys, I'll enlarge that for you. This is the diagram. Look guys, the inner, I hope you can see with my pointer, mouse pointer, I hope. This layer guys, the internal layer, this pink colored region is the entoderm. The gray colored region outermost, it is the ectoderm, and the middle layer is the mesoglia. You don't have any cells. Whereas in triploblastic organism, you would have three germ layers: outer ectoderm, mesoderm, and entoderm. Example is from the platyhelminthids to chordates. Look, endoderm is there, ectoderm is there, and central mesoderm is also there. Hit the chat box with hearts if it's clear. Hit the chat box with the hearts if it's clear. Tell me frankly, should I repeat it once again or is it clear? Very simple idea, very simple. Tell me openly, just tell me, is it clear or should I repeat it? Yes, what about the others? Are you all taking down the lecture notes or are you simply keeping quiet without understanding what is actually the reason? Tell me fast. Yes. Fourth one is the coelom. What is coelom? Coelom is the body cavity. Another term for body cavity is the coelom. So the cavity which is lined by mesodermal layer, okay, the body cavity of a layer which is lined by mesoderm is known as what? Coelom. Okay. The body cavity, guys, the body cavity, this is the body cavity, it is lined by the mesodermal layer. So that is why this portion, this internal portion, you will call the internal portion, you would call them as what? Coelom. Okay, the area between gut wall and body wall, you will call them as the coelom. It is a separation between body wall and gut wall. Based upon, coelom separates the muscles of the gut and the body wall. Based upon the nature of the coelom, you would have three different types of animals: ascoelomate, pseudocoelomate, coelomate. Guys, tell me the meaning of ascoelomate. The term A comes over there in front of that term, so you'll have a negative meaning or an indirect meaning. What is it? Ascoelomate means there is no coelom. Okay, those organisms that do not have any coelom comes under ascoelomate. Guys, tell me, what do you mean by the term pseudo? What do you mean by the term pseudo? What do you mean by the term pseudo? Tell me. What is meant by pseudo? Pseudopodia. Absolutely, Nisha, it is false. Okay, they do not have a well-defined coelom, but they will show the presence of a false coelomic cavity. Coelomate means they are true coelom. They have true coelom in their body. I hope you have understood the definition for what is a coelom. What is a coelom? It is actually a cavity which is lined by mesoderm. It is actually a cavity which is lined by mesoderm. It is something which is, or a cavity which is present between body wall and the gut wall. Is it clear? So let's discuss in detail about the three different body cavity layers. That is, first one is the ascoelomate. What is ascoelomate? They do not have coelom. No coelom. Very easy, guys. If you understand the concept and study, there is nothing. So guys, you have to go through all these things. In the next class, we would be starting with phylum Porifera. There I would be telling like phylum Porifera was cellular level. Then after cellular level, we studied about symmetry, right? Phylum Porifera is asymmetrical. You have to tell me back the answers. Third one, we studied about embryonic layers. Phylum Porifera is, you should not have an answer. It cannot be classified as diploblastic or triploblastic. Now, when it comes to what is the nature of coelom in Phylum Porifera, it is acoelomate. Okay, from all animals starting from phylum Porifera to Platyhelminthes, they comes under acoelomate organism. They do not have any coelom. Porifera is there, Coelenterata, Ctenophora, Platyhelminthes. Four animals, four group of animals coming under four different phyla. They are acoelomate. The space between the body wall and the digestive cavity is filled with a matrix, that is parenchyma. Okay, filled with a cavity, that is the parenchyma. Next, after acoelomate, the evolved species comes as the pseudocoelomate. What do you mean by pseudocoelomate? Pseudocoelomate means false coelom. Look, guys, this will appear as coelom, but it is not a coelom. This false coelom. The body cavity is not lined by mesoderm. Mesoderm is present as scattered pouches. That is seen in ash helminthes or roundworms. Binaya, is it clear? Abhijit, is it clear? So, acoelomate and pseudocoelomate. The third term is the coelomate, that is a true coelom, that is, coelom arises from mesoderm. Coelom is lined by a peritoneal layer and is filled with a coelomic fluid. All phylum coming from Annelida to Chordata is classified under coelomate, or in certain textbook you would see eucoelomate. You would see the letter U in terms EU, eucoelomate. U means true. Eubacteria means true bacteria. Okay, is it clear? Rashneet, is it clear? Nisha, is it clear? IO, is it clear? Amitav, is it clear? Should I repeat it once again? Should I repeat it once again? Yes or no? Yes, it's clear. So, is it clear for everybody about these different terms? The same thing have been mentioned. Okay. Next, what are the functions of coelom? It accommodates the visceral organ. All the, what do you mean by visceral? This is a new term which you come across whole year. Visceral means internal. Okay, don't forget the term. We have studied different terms. Cephalic means anterior. Now visceral means internal. Oh my god. Visceral layer, or sorry, visceral organ. The term visceral or visceral means what? It is internal. Coelomic fluid reduces friction between visceral organ. It acts as a shock absorber. These are the main functions of coelom. Next is metamerism. This is easy. The difficult portion of the chapter is over. That is, next is a metamerism. Metamerism means segments. Segmentation. Another term is segmentation. What is segmentation? Guys, this all organisms are very familiar. Earthworm. Segments are there, right? Small lines separating the body, right? In case of this millipede, centipede and all, you will have segments, right? So that is what is new term which you are going to use in this 11th and 12th, metamerism. It is a phenomenon in which body or organ is externally and internally divided into repeated segments or metameres. Example is annelids, arthropods, chordates. Annelid, this example is very important. Annelids, arthropods and chordates. Annelids, arthropods and chordates. Okay, annelids, arthropods, and chordates is very important. Is it clear, everybody? That is all about the segmentation. That's all about the segmentation. Segmentation is seen in Annelida, Arthropoda, and Chordata. Last one is the notochord. Notochord is actually what the term we call for our vertebral column, or the notochord vertebral column. You usually call vertebrae absent, vertebrae present, chordates and non-chordate, non-vertebrates and invertebrates and vertebrates. Right? So in this year, we would be discussing like chordates and non-chordates. So notochord is also a mesodermally derived structure. This is a previous year NEET MCQ. Formed on the dorsal side of the body. Formed on the dorsal side. Dorsal means what? The upper portion or the back side of our body. Dorsal. During the embryonic development. Animals with the notochord are called chordates. Human beings are chordates. Without notochord are called non-chordates. Hit the chat box with the thumbs up if it's clear. Hit the chat box with the thumbs up if it's clear. What about others? Nisha, is it clear? So guys, this is a very important diagram. Okay, this is a very important diagram for your board exam also. Okay, for your board exam also, you have to study this. Dorsal nerve cord is the upper part which is present. This line is the dorsal nerve cord. Below dorsal nerve cord only you will find the notochord. And example of non-chordates is all the phylum that we are studying here. All the phylum Porifera till Hemichordata, they are examples of non-chordates. Right, I'll show you. Except chordata, all Porifera, Cnidaria, Ctenophora, Platyhelminthes, Ashhelminthes, Annelida, Arthropoda, Molluscae, Echinodermata, and Hemichordata. All these are examples of non-chordates. Is it clear? They do not have an notochord. Fishes, amphibians, reptiles. Guys, in your 9th standard, you have studied like vertebrates and invertebrates. Vertebrates are chordates, non-vertebrates or invertebrates are non-chordates. So, heading towards the last portion of the chapter, that is notochord. This is the pharyngeal gill slits. Pharyngeal gill slits means the small gills which are used in respiration. Gill slits, okay, the complete term is pharyngeal gill slits. Gill slits, okay. So this is a whole chart we have studied, in which this would be easy for you to analyze and answer all the questions related to this chapter. Okay, so if you need, you can take a screenshot and share it in the group. Phylum Porifera, cellular level of organization, asymmetry or radial symmetry, and as coelomate. Cnidaria, tissue level of organization, diploblastic, radial symmetry, as coelomate. Platyhelminthes, organ and organ system, triploblastic, bilateral, as coelomate. Ashhelminthes, organ system, triploblastic, bilateral, pseudocoelomate. Previous year AIMS NEET question. Previous year NEET question, previous year AIMS question, previous year AIPMT question also. Okay, next organ system, triploblastic, bilateral, coelomates is seen in from Annelida to Chordata. Is this topic clear? Is the entire topics clear for everybody over here? Yes, show the Josh in the class by hitting the chat box with the hearts. Come on. I'll take 5 important minutes. So that's the end of today's class. In the next class, we would be studying with or starting with a brand new topic, a brand new series or a topic that is about the phylum Porifera. In the next class, that is tomorrow itself, yes, you'll study about phylum Porifera. So before ending our class, I have not added any question, but I would ask you some question. Okay, I would ask you some question so you can answer me. Okay, question number one. Question number one. Guys, give me examples of phylum which shows metamerism or segmentation. Give me examples of phylum that show metamerism or segmentation. Come on. 20 seconds for all question. 20 seconds for all question I would give you. Yes, I need 3 examples. All the examples which we have studied. All the examples. Give me, come on. Don't waste your time. Yes, absolutely. Annelida, arthropoda, and chordata. Annelida, arthropoda, and chordata are examples for or those organisms that shows metamerism. Right? Very good, guys. Very good. So keep the Josh. Next question. Next question. So many questions are there from this area. Give me an example for organism where you can find radial symmetry. Examples of organism where you can find radial symmetry. Come on. Ten seconds to answer. Yes. Echinoderms, Ctenophora, Coelenterata. Very good. So these are 3 different organisms that show radial symmetry. That show radial symmetry. Name the phylum that shows pseudocoelomate. That shows pseudocoelom. Name the phylum that shows pseudocoelom. Yes, absolutely. It is Ash helminthus. It's Ash helminthus. Okay, so there are many twisting questions which can come. So you can watch the lecture once again. Okay, you can rewatch the session once again and clarify your doubt. And at last, you can ask me also about the same. I would share you some questions. Okay, by tomorrow morning, I'll share you some questions, or if possible, by today evening itself. So read the NCERT completely. Okay, you have to complete your NCERT. You have to read the NCERT till the portion taught. You have to write the question. Soon I will be posting the schedule for written exam of Living World. Be ready, guys. Living World written exam schedule will be posted. So tomorrow also class would be there. Tomorrow we would be discussing about phylum Porifera. Okay. So thank you, guys. See you in the next class with a wonderful session. Bye.